Okay, I'm Dennis Stambaugh with Olympia Indivisible Endorsement Team, and today we're interviewing Dr. Maren Turner, who is running for Lacey City Council, position 4. Dr. Turner, Maren,
Maren,
I just asked. Thank you for coming and welcome.
thank you
Um,
for having me.
and we have Cindy and Dan Tufford on the line as well. Um, So, could you start by just letting us know why you want to run for Lacey City Council and what are some of your highest priorities, things you hope to get done?
Yes, again, thank you for having me. I am Maren Turner. I'm running for the Lacey City Council, seat 4. One of the reasons that I'm running here in Lacey is because I love this city. I've lived in a number of places, and I feel that that gives me the background to say I really, really love Lacey. Lacey is growing, and with growth comes challenges. And I have the background and the skill set to work together with the council and with the citizens of Lacey to help address those challenges. One of the things that I'll be focused on is housing. Housing is definitely where the health is. And if we want a thriving community, we have to have a healthy community. I want that community to be healthy for my daughter. And, hopefully she'll marry one day and have some grandkids. And I just want Lacey to continue moving in the right direction. And so housing is something I'm definitely going to be paying attention to. Also, I am looking at issues that impact older people. And when we think about older people, I'm thinking about things that impact older people today, but also in the future. And so one of the things I'm concerned about is older people tend to have more of a risk for social isolation, for suicide, homelessness, housing issues are all important to older people. And now that the state, as of last year, has been designated as one of about 12 age-friendly states, I'm going to make sure that's not just the title. I'm definitely going to work in that direction. And then the third thing that I'm really going to focus on is behavioral health and substance abuse. I don't think these are things that should be barriers to well-being. I know that some of these issues can be um, uh, caused by or connected to, I think that's a better way to say it, connected to housing issues um, and other things. And so I'm really interested in working on how can we help solve housing issues that impact older people, as well as behavioral health and substance abuse. I think city council members need to have leadership skills. I have those skills. I have been a servant leader since I can remember, either as a paid staff, executive director, or director. Currently, I'm the office chief for the state working on Medicaid policy. And so I think city council members should have leadership skills. I've done a lot of work with nonprofits. I know how to make good policy by listening to people. To me, it's very, very important that you not just sit in, an office someplace and just sort of think of something in your head that you think is going to be great for people. You need to listen to people. And so I bring that to the council as well. I also have a very, very strong commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Not only do I have a certification in that, but if you look at my life's work, I have been a champion for making sure that our democracy works, and our democracy works only when we hear from a variety of voices. And so that is my commitment. Those are some of the things that I bring to the council and some of the reasons why I think working together with the citizens of Lacey, working across Thurston County, working with the city council, we can move forward.
Fantastic, thank you. Yeah, just curious. You said you love Lacey. What do you love about it?
I'm thinking about starting this whole, Instagram series, What I Love About Lacey. I love that this is a community that is very business friendly. I have had a business working in the District of Columbia. I'm a member of the Thurston County Chamber of Commerce because I am planning to start another business as someone who is trained as a death doula. So look for me, Morning Drums. That's Mourn, Morning Drums. I like that this is a city that has that it's a suburban sort of urban blend that I've not experienced in other places. I love that about Lacey. I love that the people here are trying to move forward. I think there's a reason why we're called the Progressive Northwest. That's not to say that we don't have some things we need to work on, but after living in some other places, I just think that Lacey is moving forward. We're doing some great things. If I can go back to businesses, I don't know if you've been to like the night markets or some of the other programs that we have that really support small businesses. I love that about Lacey. Um, I love that we have a DEI commission. To me, I've not lived in a state or a city where we've had one. And so to me, that suggests that we really have a commitment. We're going to put our um, we're gonna not just say we're committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion. We're going to do things to help us to move forward. And I'm glad that the city council seeks the counsel of the DEI commission. And then it goes on and on and on. The the ambiance, the trees, the water, the food, um, the fact that this is a community that I think I could retire in and that my daughter could thrive in, should she decide to stay, and I hope she does.
Great. Your daughter just graduated from somewhere.
She did. She did 2 days ago, actually.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, I hope she has big plans. Um, could you tell us a little bit more about your professional experience? What is it that you do now? And you mentioned being a lobbyist. Could you tell us a little bit about what that was about?
Okay, so I have a long history of servant leadership working for nonprofits. And in doing that, I've worked for groups that focused on families, that focused on making sure that there are equitable pay. Um, statuses for women. I've worked on things like making sure we have a great system that supports people with disabilities or who have mental health challenges. In my past, I've been an executive director, I've been a state director. I'm currently an office chief. And as I said earlier, I'm working on Medicaid waiver policies, which help people who if we didn't have these Medicaid waivers, they'd have to live in institutions like nursing homes to get the care that they need. And so the work is really important. I've lobbied congressional delegations, I've lobbied state legislators, I've worked with governors, I've worked with mayors and city councils. One of the things that I'm really proud of, or I could say we had a lot of fun doing, is working with the city council in Wichita, Kansas, to develop what we think may have been, at least at that time, and may still be at this time, the first grandparents park. Now, if you just look at the name, you think, well, is it just for older people? No. What we heard from the community is they wanted a place where they could bring their kids and exercise as well. And so it is a park that is open and available to anybody, even though the city said, well, here's a pocket park. We'd love to have one that's dedicated to older people. So those are some of the things that I've done in my past. I will also add that I have also been an adjunct and visiting professor where I taught classes on everything from aging and spirituality, aging and diversity, aging and functional changes. And the last one I'll add is aging and social policy. So I've done that in addition to that. And I mentioned that I have been an entrepreneur. I had my own company where I worked with the District of Columbia to go out and um, uh, look at housing placements, work placements, and other places where people with disabilities were to make sure they were getting the support that they needed. That was the job that I did for the District of Columbia. Um, so those are some of the things that I've done in my past.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. And in your questionnaire response, you mentioned numerous community boards. Is that here, or can you talk about, is there more there that you could tell us about?
I I confess I don't remember which ones I listed, but I can tell you that I have been a board member for the Council on Black Health. Actually, I was the chair for 2 years. I was on the board of the Rotary Foundation and served as the vice president. I have been a director for the Red Cross, Dallas Mental Health Foundation, Douglas County Senior Services. Um, I've been a part of an advisory group for the Diabetes Association. I've been a board member for did I say Red Cross already? Um, I would have to look at the list. I know that at this point I am being considered for Interfaith Works here. So looking forward to hopefully getting that vote in about a couple of weeks, I think. I I've done work. Uh, I'm starting to do work as a death doula. Certainly, I've been a court-appointed mental retardation advocate through the District of Columbia. Also worked as a guardian ad litem for people who had mental health as well as developmental disabilities. Um, I do volunteer work for the American Society on Aging. I certainly did a lot of volunteer work with my daughter's school. I am a very active member of Delta Sigma Theta, as well as the Links Incorporated. We do a lot of community work through those organizations. And like I said, I'd have to look at the list because I've been involved in quite a few things. And it's because um, uh, there is this proverb that goes something like, a fragrance remains on the hand that gives the rose. So you're giving something, but you also get something back. And for me, it feels great to be able to help other people. I chose to go into the helping professions by design because I like to help people. And so it's very rewarding to me to be able to help other people and to see them progress or to get the supports that they need.
Okay. I think your response on the questionnaire was that you've been on several, so it helps to hear I think
Just to
some
remember them
examples.
all.
I
Yeah.
really appreciate that. Um, so, um, by the way, what's a death doula?
So I don't know if you've heard of a birth doula.
It sounds familiar, yes.
Okay, well, death doulas work on the other end of life, where birth doulas will help you, say, with birthing a child at home or wherever it is you want. A death doula is a member of a family's team, or could be working in hospice or someplace like that, non-medical professional that will help somebody once they have a terminal illness to just sort of navigate life from that point on. Death doulas don't give, like I said, we're not part of a medical team, but if, for example, you needed somebody to just hold your hand as you went through the death process, some death doulas will enter the process right as you're dying. Some will enter the process right as you get the terminal diagnosis. Some specialize in medical aid in dying. Some specialize in helping people who are losing pets. Some help only work with the family. Some work with the person who's dying. But overall, we are just part of the helping profession to help people uh, plan funerals, plan vigils. Uh, we provide respite for families. I did not know about death doulas when my parents were dying. I was a caregiver. Sometimes you want somebody to come and just sit with your loved one while you can just go take a shower. Um, and uh, you may not have the money to hire somebody, or maybe your Medicare doesn't cover some of the services you need. But that sort of gives you a flavor of how death doulas can be very helpful to families and to people who are dying.
All right, thank you. You mentioned housing, and I know that's an important. You mentioned it in your questionnaire responses as well. But you mentioned something called universal design housing. Could you tell us a little bit about what that is and how that can be helpful in Lacey?
So, universal design housing is a type of housing that is developed for people regardless of your ability. Sometimes when people hear about universal design, they think, okay, that's just for people with disabilities. I'm going to have to build a huge ramp on the front of my house. And what's that going to look like? Is it going to lower the value of my home? But the truth of the matter is, universal design means your house is designed in a way to meet your ability no matter what it is. So if, for example, you were to fall and break, your leg at age 30, your house already has things in it that would make it okay for you to say use a wheelchair because the hallways are wider. Um, Universal design may mean that you design the bathroom so that you already have grab bars in there, regardless of what your age is. Universal design means that perhaps the instead of using uh, doorknobs, you use levers because that makes it easier to open and close doors. The thing that I'm really concerned about, and the reason why I think this could be very helpful in terms of making sure we have affordable housing, or that we have features in houses that make them not only affordable, but also livable across, your lifespan, is because sometimes you get to the point in your life where, okay, maybe you've paid off your mortgage, but your house can no longer support you. To go back and to retrofit is more expensive than to include universal design features in your house on the front end. And I know that there are city councils across the United States that are looking at either requiring builders to include these designs in a percentage of the houses that they build, or they're looking at just out and out how can we include universal design housing in our housing stock? And so that's what I mean when I talk about universal design housing. I will just add that at one point I was the co-chair of the Universal Design Housing Task Force when I lived in another state. And so I do bring a certain level of understanding of what universal housing looks like and how it can benefit citizens.
Okay, thank you. You're a former small business owner. Do you think Lacey is a friendly city for small businesses, or could more be done there?
I think the city is welcoming of small businesses. I think we're moving in the right direction. Of course, I think there are things that we can do more of. My understanding is that there are tax incentives and workforce programs that support small businesses. I'd like to see us do more to support businesses, particularly small businesses that offer a living wage. Um, I love like the night markets, which I think is a great way to support small businesses and to help them to grow, to help showcase why small businesses are so important to our community, how they help to stimulate the economy. There are lots of reasons why we have to support our small businesses. And I am looking forward to working on the council in a way that helps to come up with policies, like I said, to expand some of the ways we support businesses. I also want to look at how we can recruit more businesses to this state. And I think we can do even more in terms of marketing to let people understand that this is a community that respects and supports small businesses.
Okay, thank you for that. And let me ask you this one. We hear a lot these days about immigration, and it's almost all negative to extremely negative. Um,
Yeah. Uh,
uh, could you tell us, how you feel about immigration and how the city of Lacey can welcome immigrants, or should they?
Well, I know the state of Washington is a sanctuary state, and that we have cities across Washington that are sanctuary cities, including Olympia, I do believe. I would love to see Lacey seriously consider becoming a sanctuary city, with or without that designation. I'm very happy that we have a DEI commission, because I really believe that how we treat immigrants, how we treat people from marginalized communities is very important. Um, so when it comes to immigration, those would be the things that I would definitely want to look at. One, let's talk about whether or not we become a sanctuary city. What does that involve? And the other number one is whether you're an immigrant or a person from a marginalized community, we still need to treat people with dignity and respect, regardless of where they come from.
Okay, thank you. This is rather a short interview. Doesn't have to go on and on. And but I really have one more question for you. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell us about yourself, and how is your campaign going?
Okay, so I've been meeting with different people, just getting to know people that maybe I wouldn't otherwise have a chance to talk to, and it's been great. I'm having, I'm still at that phase in my campaign where I'm having a lot of fun. I don't know what's coming down the road, but this is exciting for me. I love getting out and talking to people, listening to them. I'm not just meeting with people who can provide endorsements. I'm reaching out to nonprofit organizations. That's the world I came from. I understand it very well. And just talking to them, asking them, what do you think I should pay attention to? What do you, if we could change this city even by 15%, what would that look like? So my campaign is going pretty well for this stage of where things are. The other things that I will tell you about myself is I'm a mom. You know, you just talked about my daughter, who just graduated. I'm an animal lover. So I'm looking forward to connecting with people who love animals as well. I think we have some great things that we're doing in Lacey. I'm learning more and more about that, but certainly looking forward to working with people who feel the same way I do about animals. I love to travel. I love to help people. Um, I'm just excited about life. I'm in a good place. I love living here. And with that, I will just leave you with one of my favorite proverbs, which happens to come from Africa. And it goes something like this: Sticks in a bundle are unbreakable. Sticks in a bundle don't break. And for me, that means that if we work together, we're so much stronger. And I am looking forward to working together with the people in Lacey, with the residents of Thurston County, with the state, with the city council, and doing anything that I can do to help the city continue to move forward.
All right. Well, thank you once again for
Thank
engaging
you.
with Olympia Indivisible and for sitting for this interview. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thanks for
All
having
right.
me.
Bye.